On June 28, 1914, a teenage assassin fired 2 shots from a Belgian pistol into an open motorcade in Sarajevo. Within 5 weeks, 14 nations were at war. Within 4 years, 20 million people were dead. The gun that pulled the trigger on the 20th century was a Model 1910, manufactured at a factory in a small Belgian city most people have never heard of. That factory is still running today. It has never stopped. This is FN Herstal, and this is the story of how a weapons company nobody knows built the arsenal that every army in the Western world depends on. In 1886, Belgium has a problem. The army needs 150,000 modern repeating rifles. The country is small, the size of Maryland, but it sits at the crossroads of Europe, surrounded by France, Germany, and the Netherlands, 3 empires that have marched armies across Belgian soil for centuries. Having the right weapon is not optional. It is existential. Belgium evaluates designs from across the continent. The best rifle is German, the Mauser model 1889. But Belgium will not buy its weapons from Germany. It will build them at home. A consortium of gunsmiths from the city of Liège, Europe's historic center of arms manufacturing, forms a new company to fulfill the contract. They call it Fabrique Nationale d'Armes de Guerre, the National Factory of Weapons of War. On July 3, 1889, FN is officially established. The first Mauser rifles roll off the line in 1891. The contract is fulfilled. And then comes the question that will define the next 135 years. What do you do with a precision weapons factory once the order is delivered? Some founders want it dissolved. Others see what the factory actually is, a permanent industrial capability that no single contract can define. They win the argument. FN survives. And then it finds the one man who will transform it from a production facility into the most prolific firearms design house in history. His name is John Moses Browning. He is from Ogden, Utah. He designed his first gun at age 13. By 1897, he had already created the lever-action rifles that made Winchester legendary and the Model 1895 machine gun for the United States Navy. He is, by any measure, the greatest firearms designer alive, and his relationship with Winchester is falling apart over money. An FN sales representative meets Browning in the United States and carries a prototype pistol back to Belgium. The owners of FN recognize what they are holding immediately. The contract is signed on July 17, 1897. FN will manufacture Browning's designs. The partnership will last 29 years. The first product, the FN Model 1899, becomes the world's first commercially successful semi-automatic pistol. It saves the company. The Belgian military adopts the improved Model 1900 as its standard sidearm. FN produces over 700,000 of them. In 1903 comes the Auto 5, the world's first mass-produced semi-automatic shotgun. In 1907, Browning's name begins appearing on the products, and the Browning brand, as the world knows it today, is born inside a Belgian factory on the banks of the Meuse. Browning does not treat FN as a client. He makes 26 transatlantic crossings by ship over 3 decades. He has his own office at the factory. He works alongside FN's engineers, teaches them, and pushes them. He gives FN first refusal on every design he creates. Among those designs is a compact, elegant, semi-automatic pistol chambered in .380 ACP. FN manufactures it as the Model 1910. It becomes one of the most widely carried sidearms in Europe. One of them ends up in the hands of Gavrilo Princip in Sarajevo. 2 shots, an Archduke dead, a world at war. On November 26, 1926, John Moses Browning is at his workbench in the FN factory in Herstal. working on the design that will become the Browning high-power pistol. He complains of chest pains. He grows lightheaded. His son Val is beside him. Browning lies down on a couch and says, "Son, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm dying." Minutes later, he is gone. He is 71 years old. The factory goes silent. Workers file past his body, which is laid in the FN boardroom. They call him Le Maître, the master. He leaves behind a generation of Belgian engineers trained to think at his level. The most important among them is Dieudonné Saïve, a man who joined FN in 1905, worked alongside Browning for 20 years, and will go on to complete the high-power pistol Browning left unfinished. And then, after surviving another war, designed the rifle that defines an entire era. May 10, 1940, Nazi Germany invades Belgium for the second time in 26 years. The country falls in 18 days. The FN factory in Herstal is seized and placed under German military administration. German directors take over. Workers are forced to produce firearms for the Wehrmacht, including the very high-power pistols that Browning and Saïve had designed. Two acts of defiance define what happens next. The first takes place the night before German forces reach Herstal. Workers smuggle the complete technical plans for the high-power pistol out of the factory. The drawings reach England. From there they reach Canada, where the John Inglis Company in Toronto begins manufacturing high-power pistols for Allied forces, the same pistol now being produced under German control in Belgium, the same weapon on both sides of the war. The second act of defiance is quieter and more dangerous. Workers inside the factory engage in systematic sabotage, including defective parts, slowed production, and intelligence fed to the Belgian resistance. Raids on the Herstal facility steal detonators, dynamite, and rifles. Alexander Galopin, the former managing director of FN, who had risen to lead one of Belgium's largest industrial holding companies, attempts to navigate the occupation, keeping factories running to prevent mass deportation of workers to Germany, while refusing voluntary cooperation with the regime. On February 28, 1944, Galopin is assassinated at his home by Belgian collaborators working with the SS. He is 64 years old. FN Herstal is liberated by American forces later that year. The factory is damaged. It is standing. The workforce is intact. They begin again. The Cold War begins before the rubble of the Second World War is fully cleared. NATO is established in 1949. The Western world needs weapons, not the weapons of the last war. New weapons for a new kind of conflict. Dieudonné Saïve, the engineer who had escaped to England carrying the high-power designs in his head, begins work on a new rifle in 1946. The result, after years of refinement and a bitter international caliber dispute that the Americans win through sheer political pressure, is the FN FAL, Fusil Automatique Léger, the light automatic rifle. It enters production in 1953. Within a decade, it becomes the most widely adopted military rifle in the Western world. Over 90 countries, including the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, Belgium, Israel, India, Brazil, and Argentina, adopt the FAL as their standard service rifle. More than 7 million are produced. It is manufactured under license on 4 continents. It earns a nickname that endures, the right arm of the free world. In 1982, during the Falklands War, British and Argentine troops face each other across the South Atlantic, both carrying FALs. The same Belgian rifle on both sides in the same war. FN does it again in 1958 with the MAG, the Mitrailleuse d'Appui General, a belt-fed, air-cooled, general-purpose machine gun chambered in 7.62 NATO. One platform, every role. Infantry with a bipod, tripod for sustained fire, vehicle coaxial mount, helicopter pintle, naval mount. Over 90 countries adopt it. The United States, which had rejected the FAL in favor of domestic pride, adopts the MAG. The American military designates it the M240. It is used by the Army, the Marine Corps, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Coast Guard. A Belgian machine gun designed in Herstal, manufactured at FN's factory in Columbia, South Carolina, carried by every branch of the United States Armed Forces. No other firearms manufacturer in Western history has achieved this. 2 weapons, 2 categories, both adopted by over 90 nations each, both designed at the same factory on the same river, both still in active service more than 60 years later. The platform expansion continues. The FN Minimi, adopted by the U.S. as the M249 Squad automatic weapon, gives every American infantry squad its own sustained automatic fire capability. The SCAR, developed for U.S. Special Operations Command, becomes one of the most recognizable weapons in the Special Forces community. The P90 personal defense weapon, with its compact bullpup configuration and horizontal 50-round magazine, is adopted by over 40 countries. The 5.7 pistol, remote weapon stations, integrated fire control systems, all of it conceived and engineered in Herstal. In 1977, FN FAL acquires the Browning Arms Company, the sporting firearms brand founded by John Browning's own family in Ogden, Utah. The company that Browning partnered with for 3 decades now owns the name he left behind. In 1987, FN acquires Winchester, the lever-action rifle that won the American West, now owned by a Belgian manufacturer headquartered in a city most Americans cannot locate on a map. FN operates both brands as distinct subsidiaries. Browning and Winchester sell to hunters and sport shooters. FN Herstal sells to armies. 3 brands, 3 markets, 1 parent company, and most of the people who buy a Browning shotgun or a Winchester rifle have no idea. Today, the Herstal Group, owned entirely by the Walloon Regional Government of Belgium, posts annual revenues exceeding 900 million euros. FN America alone employs over 600 people in South Carolina, where a second manufacturing facility is currently under construction. The factory has produced over 1 million small arms under contract for the United States Department of Defense. 1 factory, 1 million weapons. FN does not advertise to you. It does not need to. Its customers are not people. Its customers are nations. And nations choose their weapons based on reliability data, NATO standardization, cost per unit over a lifetime of service, and the track record of the manufacturer across decades of deployment in actual combat conditions. FN's track record is the longest and deepest of any Western small arms manufacturer alive. The pistol that killed the Archduke sits in a museum in Vienna, behind glass, beside the blood-stained tunic. The rifle that armed the free world still fires in barracks and on battlefields across 90 countries. The machine gun that every branch of the U.S. military carries was designed by a company most Americans have never heard of. The factory in Herstal has been seized twice, bombed, occupied, liberated, sold, and resold. It has survived 2 world wars, the death of its greatest designer on its own factory floor, the assassination of its chairman by Nazi collaborators, and the quiet indifference of a world that fires its weapons without knowing who made them. The name on the building is Fabrique Nationale, the national factory. Not one man's name, not one family's legacy, a nation's factory. That is what it was built to be. That is what it remains.